Okay. Thank you for joining me on this Taurus full moon on this 1st of November. It's all about re-energizing and balancing the feelings that we have within and what we can actually practically do about life. And in our current situation, might be a bit tricky, but we'll do some nice yoga and then we'll flow into the guided meditation and then have a quick break, 5 minutes or so, and then Ko will take over and do her beautiful astrology. So welcome and thank you so much for joining me. Come to a comfortable seated position. It doesn't matter whether you're in lotus or half lotus or whether you want to kneel. Just find a comfortable seated position where you can connect your body to your mat and close your eyes and just move your body to such an extent that you can find your peace of mind on your mat in this space that you're at the moment. And your hands can be either on your knees, palms facing down or up, or they can be in your lap, wherever they want to rest today. And connect to that space where your body touches your mat. And connect to your breath. And let's take 3 deep inhales. We inhale through our nose and we're going to exhale through our open mouth, just so that we can connect into the here and now. So go ahead, inhale. And exhale. Relax your shoulders away from your ears on your exhale. Inhale again. Growing tall and exhale again. Sorry, I need to mute the person who joined. And one more time, inhale. And exhale through your open mouth. And then interlace your fingers and place your hands under your chin, palms facing down. Your arms are horizontal to the mat. And we're going to inhale again through our through our nose. And slightly bend back with your head, opening your throat and your heart up to the ceiling. And exhale, come on down again. If you want to inhale through your open mouth, you're more than welcome to do so. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. Again, inhale. Bending back slightly, opening your throat and heart up to the ceiling. Be mindful of your spine. And exhale, come down again. Last time, inhale. And you'll feel with each and every repetition, the range of motion will become bigger. Exhale, come on down. Keeping your fingers interlaced, reach those hands up towards the ceiling. If you want to open your eyes, gaze up towards the ceiling and reach those palms up, feeling the stretch from your hips, along your ribs, along your arms, all the way up. Allow your spine to grow tall, and then exhale, turn your hands and gently pull on your wrists. Palms are facing up now. If you want to open your chest, turn your shoulders back a tad bit and tuck your chin down towards your chest. You'll feel the stretch across your palms, along your arms, and maybe even from your earlobe all the way along your neck and across your shoulder girdle. Inhale, let's go up again. Lengthen that spine. Feel the stretch. If you hear cracking noises, that's all okay. And exhale, come on down again. Flip your wrists so that your palms are facing up. Tuck your chin down towards your chest and gently tug on your wrists so that you're opening that space from your knuckles to your wrists. And we're going to go up again on your next inhale. And this time, take your arms behind your ears and behind your head, opening that chest. Keep your core slightly tight so that you don't fall into a hollow back. And then exhale, come on down again, gently tugging on the wrists, lengthening the arms, turning the eye of your elbow towards where your thumbs are pointing or away from your body. And then let go of your hands, wriggle your fingers, rotate your shoulders backwards and forwards. Very good. And now reach your arms out to the opposing sides of your body. Your fingers are splayed. You'll feel that stretch in between each and every digit, maybe even across the palm of your hands, and reach those hands away. So you'll feel the stretch again from your earlobes down along your neck, across your shoulders, and all the way along your arms. Relax those shoulders away from your ears. And you might even feel that stretch between the shoulder blades. Keep reaching. Maybe even in your tricep, depending on what you did yesterday. Make sure that your palms are facing forward where your nose is facing. Don't tilt your wrists, and exhale. Go and wrap your arms around your body. Grab hold of your shoulder or shoulder blades. Pull your shoulders away from your ears and drop your chin down towards your chest. Feeling that stretch along your neck and across your shoulder girdle. On the next inhale, reach those arms out again, bending your elbows so that you get traction. Pull those fingers out to the opposing side again. Stretch, relax your shoulders away from your ears. And now take those arms behind your body, opening your chest. Core is slightly tight so you don't fall into a hollow back, and still grounding through your sit bones into that mat. On your exhale, go wrap those arms around your body. Grab hold of your shoulders or shoulder blades. Pull the shoulders away from your ears and drop your chin down towards your chest. Different arm at the top this time. I know we have one favorite side or arm, but give both equal chance. Very good. The next inhale, let go of that hug. Rotate your shoulders backwards and forwards. And then take your right hand, place it on the right next to your right thigh, nicely grounding through that. If you feel insecure, or just slightly off balance, use your hands to ground yourself as well, not just your feet. On your inhale, reach your left hand up, firmly pressing your left hip down towards the mat and your left sit bone. Growing tall, feeling that stretch in your intercostals on the left side. On the exhale, bend over right. Your left arm is pulling over to the right side, and you'll feel that stretch on that left side from your left hip along your ribs and along your arms all the way into your fingertips. If you feel that you can bend some more, be gentle with yourself. We're still early on here. Walk your right hand away from your body, still pushing your left hip firmly into the ground. On the next inhale, come on back to center. Place your left hand down next to your left thigh. Inhale again, right hand goes up, growing tall and long. Right hip is pushing down, right sit bone is pressing into the ground. And then exhale, bend over to the left side. Feeling the stretch in your right intercostals. Be mindful of your spine. Your right wrist is pulling that arm so you're growing in length from your right fingertips all the way down to your right hip. You might feel a little bit more in your hip than in your ribs. As long as you feel it somewhere in your stretching, that is perfect. On the next inhale, come on back. Exhale, place your right hand down and just turn your hands so that your palms are facing up, and just sit with that feeling and go internal with your attention to see, how am I feeling in my rib area? How am I feeling in my hip area? And then we're going to go again, one time on each side. Place your right hand next to your right thigh. Inhale on your left side, growing tall, pulling that shoulder up towards your ear. And your left hip is going down into that mat, and then exhale, bend over to that right side. Your left wrist is guiding your movement. And you might feel that this time around you can bend even more. Doesn't feel as tight, feels welcoming. On the next inhale, come on back. Exhale, left hand down. Inhale, right hand up. Exhale, bend over to the left. Your right wrist is pulling gently, pulling that shoulder up towards your ear. Make sure you keep that chest open. When you feel that you can bend more, inhale, come on back. Again, flip your palms so that they're facing upwards. Close your eyes and travel into your body with your attention. Feel nice and elongated from your hips, along your ribs, along your arms, all the way up to those fingertips. And keeping your eyes closed, take your hands and place them onto your belly. We're going to do some deep belly breathing. If at any point in your life you feel anxious or scared or just not yourself, deep belly breathing calms your parasympathetic nervous system and allows you to focus solely on that breathing. Everything will be fine. So we're going to inhale to the count of 4. We're going to exhale to the count of 6. And we're going to be doing 3 repetitions. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. We're going to inhale, inflating that belly like a balloon. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Feel that expansion all the way to the bottom of your ribs. And exhale, 6, 5, 4. Pull that belly button back towards your spine. 2, and 1. And again, inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. And exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, belly button back, 2, and 1. Last time into the belly, inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Expand that belly. And exhale, 6, 5, 4. Pull your belly button back, 2, and 1. Place your palms or hands into your lap and just see how you feel in your body, in your mind. Hopefully calmness is settled. Take your hands, place them lightly against your ribs, and we're going to inhale into our belly, 4, 3, and then pull that breath up into the rib cage, expanding your rib cage, 2, 1. Sit a tad bit taller and exhale, 6. Curling your ribs in, 5, 4. Belly button back, 3, 2, and 1. And again, inhale into your belly, 4, 3. Pull that breath up into your rib cage, 2, 1. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. And exhale, 6, 5. Curl your ribs in, 4, 3. Belly button back, 2, and 1. And again, inhale into your belly, 4, 3. Pull that breath up into your rib cage, 2. 1. Relax your hips. Exhale, 6. 5. 4. Belly button back, 3. 2. 1. Place your palms into your lap. Once again, travel internally to see how you feel within your body and within your mind. Calmer and slower. Next, take your fingertips and lightly place them onto your collarbones, and we're going to inhale into our belly. 4, 3, pull that breath up into your rib cage. 2, and then all the way up to your collarbone, sitting up just a tad bit taller, relaxing your shoulders away from your ears. And then exhale from your collarbone. 6, 5, curl your ribs in. 4, 3, belly button back. 2, and 1. And inhale again into your belly. 4, 3, pull that breath up into your rib cage. 2, and then all the way up to your collarbones. 1. Exhale from your collarbone. 6, 5, curl your ribs in. 4, 3, belly button. 2, and 1. And last time, inhale into your belly. 4, 3, pull that breath up into your rib cage, grow wide. 2, and then all the way up to your collarbones. 1, relaxing your shoulders, relaxing your hips and your thighs. And exhale. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And place your hands into your left hand on your right palm. And last time, just travel inside into your body to see whether there's any tension left or whether that's calmness reigning your body. And then travel up into your mind, hopefully totally empty and relaxed. On the next inhale, slowly open your eyes and wriggle your fingers and rotate your wrists in both directions. And let's come into tabletop. After all this sitting, make sure that your knees are under your hips. They're hip distance apart. Your hands are nice and wide. Your fingers are splayed. Your wrists are nice under your shoulder. Alignment is key. We're going to do some cat-cows. We're going to inhale. We're going to drop our belly down towards the mat. Open our chest and look up towards the ceiling. Pull those shoulders away from your ears. Imagine your shoulder blades want to go and meet your tailbone. And then exhale. Curl your tailbone under. Round your lower back. Round your upper back and drop your head down towards the mat. Firmly press your palms into the mat, feeling your arms grow long and your shoulder blades actually want to go touch that ceiling. Inhale, drop that belly down towards the mat, open your chest, pull your shoulders away from your ears, and drop your head back between your shoulder blades. And exhale, round your lower back, round your upper back. Push those shoulder blades up towards the ceiling, drop your head down. Curl that chin towards your chest. And imagine your tip of the nose wants to meet your pubic bone. So you want to be a nice semicircle or circle. On the next inhale, let's come back to neutral. And then Turn over your left side, look over your left shoulder, and you want to see your left heels. Feeling that scrunch on the left side between your hip and your ribs, and then stretch across your right ribs. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, look over your right shoulder. Back towards your right heel. Feel the stretch along the left ribs and scrunching up your right obliques. Inhale, come back to center. Walk your hands to the top of your mat and drop your chest down towards that mat. Come into puppy pose. You'll feel that stretch along your arms. Your arms are active. Maybe across your chest. Your sit bones want to go up towards that ceiling. Your chin will rest closer on the mat. I'm going to stay here for 3 breaths, opening our chest and our heart chakra. And you'll feel with a long exhale that it'll stretch the entire front side of your body as well, from your belly button all the way to your chin. And inhale. And try to make your exhale longer than your inhale. If you suffer from headaches, this is the perfect position. Last inhale. And exhale. On the next inhale, let's come back to tabletop. Your fingers are splayed, your wrists are under your shoulders. We're going to tuck our toes under. Inhale, tighten that core and gently push those knees off the mat, firmly pressing into the 10 toes and 10 fingers. Lightly round your upper back and your gaze goes down between your index fingers. It doesn't matter how low your knees are, but the closer you can hover them towards the mat, the better it is. You'll feel it. Pull those heels to the back wall. So you'll feel that stretch across the soles of your feet as well. And let's keep breathing. Most of the time when something becomes a bit too strenuous, we stop breathing. So concentrate on your breath. And again, try to make that exhale longer than your inhale. So just imagine you're hanging there, suspended in midair. On the next exhale, drop those knees to the mat, flatten your toes and come into child's pose with active arms, walking those fingers away. Allow your lower abdomen to rest on your thighs. Drop your forehead down to the mat. And on the inhale, walk those fingertips away from your body, feeling that stretch from your sit bones along your back, past your shoulders and along your arms. On the exhale, allow those arms to slide back, shoulders come away from your ears, and rest that abdomen on your thighs. Inhale again, lengthening those arms, feeling the stretch in your armpits and along the entire backside of your body from your sit bones to your fingertips. And on the exhale, allow those shoulders to float away from your ears. You might feel a beautiful stretch in your lumbar area, widening that area of your body. One more inhale. Walking those fingers as far away from your body as possible. And then exhale slowly, allowing the shoulders to float away from your ears. The next inhale, look towards your hands and come back up to tabletop. And let's go again. Tighten that core and tuck your toes under. Lift those knees off the mat. Your upper back is slightly rounded. You're looking straight down to the mat so that your neck is an elongation of your spine. Let's stretch that left leg out of the hip. Your foot is flexed. Your left big toe is slightly turned towards your right heel, and lower that right knee further down towards the mat. Grow long out of that left hip. Push that left heel and the right heel away from your body. On the next inhale, take that left foot in and stretch your right leg out. Right foot is flexed, right big toe is facing your left ankle or heel so that you're keeping the hip closed. And lower that left knee closer down towards the mat. Heels are pushing back away from your body. Your core is nice and tight. Keep breathing. Inhale, come back with your right foot. Take your knees out to the edge of the mat. Lower your toes down. Come into active child's pose. If you don't want to lie down, just lower your sit bones down towards your heels, pushing your shoulders away from your ears, strong arms, and you'll feel that stretch in your hips and in your lower back. If you want to go all the way down, walk your hands away and drop your chin or your forehead or your cheek, depending on how healthy you feel in your neck today, onto that mat. Your arms are active, and we're going to stay here for 4 breaths. Make your exhale longer than your inhale. And allow your lower belly to fall down towards the mat, opening your hips, feeling a beautiful stretch across your lower back. Allow your belly to relax. Allow your chest to relax. And 2 more breaths here. And last inhale. On the next inhale, look towards your hands. Come back into tabletop and just keep your toes tucked under, and we're going to push up into our first downward facing dogs. Be gentle with your body and take that dog for a walk, pedaling your feet in ankles. Take your knees along. If you want to take your hips along and your shoulders, just stretch that entire backside of your body, looking left and right if you want to as well, or give your head a bit of a shake and a nod, just to move any tension out of your neck if there is any. And while we're pedaling or walking our dog here, let me walk you through the alignment. So if you want to take a glance towards your hands, they're shoulder width apart. Your fingers are splayed and they're nice and strong. You can feel each and every of those 10 fingers pressing into the mat. Your upper arms are rotated out. Your shoulders are wide. Your neck is easy. Give that a shake and a nod. And the tip of your shoulder blades are pulling down towards your tailbone. You're looking down towards your thighs, knees, or belly button. Your feet are hip distance apart. And your sit bones would like to get a glimpse of the ceiling. So let's find some stillness in this downward facing dog. And those of you who have their legs straight and the heels on the ground, why don't you just pull those toes off that mat and feel the stretch in your shins and in your calves, engaging those kneecaps, pulling them up into your thighs so your legs are nicely engaged, feeling that stretch from your fingertips all the way down to your heels. You'll feel a lightness in your lower abdominals because your intestines are moving up towards your ribs. Nice detox as a side effect. Drop those toes back down onto the mat. If this is too much, keep your knees bent, but pressing your upper body or your chest down towards your thighs. It's a general move. On the next inhale, we're going to look forward towards hands and we're going to float into a plank pose. Make sure your core is engaged and you're pulling your shoulders away from your ears. Your heels are pulling back away from your body. So you'll feel your shin muscles also engaged. Exhale, pull yourself back into downward facing dog using your core muscles, and slightly tilt your pelvis so that your sit bones want to get a glimpse of that ceiling. Feeling that stretch in your hamstrings. Inhale, float forward. Pulling those shoulders away from your ears. And gaze down towards a spot in between your index fingers. Exhale, let's go back again into downward facing dog. We're going to do 2 more of those. Feeling that stretch on entire backside of your body. Inhale, come forward again into plank. And while you're moving forward, make sure you pull those shoulders away from your ears. Exhale, scrunch that belly up, pulling yourself back into downward facing dog. Give your head a bit of a nod and a shake again. Inhale, last time forward, come into plank. And we're going to stay here for 3, 2, 1. Exhale, drop those heels to the right side. You'll feel a bit of a scrunch up in your right obliques. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, drop your heels to the left. A nice small twist in your lower back. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, one more time on each side. Drop your heels to the right. Inhale, come to center. Exhale, drop them to the left. Inhale, come to center. Drop your knees down and come into child's pose. Drop your forehead down to the mat and take your arms alongside your thighs, palms facing up, and allow your shoulders to become nice and round. Let gravity pull them down towards the mat, relaxing those arms, relaxing your belly muscles, and lengthening those lower back muscles. On the next inhale, we're going to move to rabbit pose. What you're going to do is you're going to tuck your nose as close as you can to your knees. The top of your head, where your crown chakra, is going to rest on the mat. And you're going to grab hold of your heels, and you're going to roll over your head so you'll feel that stretch across your shoulder girdle and along your neck. You're holding on firmly onto your heels so that you don't topple over. Exhale, come on back to sit on your heels, resting on your forehead or just a tad bit above your forehead. Inhale, come up to the top of your head again, holding on to your heels. Feel that stretch across your shoulders and along your neck. Your chin is firmly tucked towards your chest. And exhale, come on down again. Come into child's pose. Turn your palms facing up again. Allow the shoulders to relax and become round. On the next inhale, slowly curl up to a seated position, sitting on your heels. Rotate your shoulders backwards. And then come forward. Let's meet in plank pose. Strong pose. And then move back into downward facing dog on your exhale. Give your head a nod and a shake. And just pedal those ankles and heels. Just bringing some movement into that spine. Opening your chest. Looking under your arms towards the ceiling. And then find some stillness in the downward facing dog. And raise your heels off the mat and come onto tiptoe. Pressing your chest towards your thighs. Closing that gap between your chest and your knees. Feel the stretch from your toes all the way to your fingertips. And then drop your heels down to the mat. Look towards your hands and slowly walk towards those hands. Have your feet hip distance apart and allow gravity to pull your shoulders and your head down towards the mat and just hang there. If you want to grab your elbows and gently sway from side to side, do so. If you just want to hang there with your hands towards your mat or on your mat, then do so. Engage those legs by pulling the kneecaps up in towards your thighs. And I'd like you to travel into the soles of your feet with your attention, just to see where is the majority of my weight. Is it more in the heels
Or is it more in my toes? I would guess that most of us have most of the weight in our heels. That means our backside is actually hanging behind our heels. So go ahead and move that weight to the middle of your foot or even towards your toes. You can use your hands to make sure you don't topple over, but I'd like you to see how that feels, how the tension changes, especially in your legs. And then move your attention to the outside edges of your feet. Try to press those into the mat. Slightly lift the arch of your foot off the mat, and you should feel a stretch from your ankle, from the outside of your foot, all the way to the outside of your thigh, to the outside of your hips. And then drop the soles of your feet firmly into that mat and press the arch of your feet into the mat, slightly raising the outside edge of your foot. And you should feel a stretch on the inside ankle all the way up to your pubic bone. And then allow the soles of your feet to gently rest onto that mat. Bend your knees slightly and uncurl and slowly come into a standing position, taking your hands all the way up, reaching those fingertips up towards the ceiling, and take those shoulders along. Lift those shoulders out of your sockets all the way up towards the ceiling, feeling that stretch from your hips, and then lower them away from your ears. Take your hands in front of your heart center. We're going to flow through the sun salutation. Take your feet either parallel or your big toes are touching each other, and your heels are slightly apart. Your legs are engaged. Pull your kneecaps up into your thighs. Slightly tilt your pelvis. Under your core is tight. Opening the chest. Inhale, reach those fingertips up. Shoulders away from your ears. Exhale, forward fold. If having your legs straight is too much, bend your legs and allow the abdomen to rest on those thighs. Inhale, come into a half lift, straight legs straight back, shoulders pull away from your ears, and you're gazing straight down towards the mat. Your hands are on your thighs. Exhale, place your hands on the mat, step back into plank with your left foot. And then either lower your knees down onto the mat, bending your elbows close to your rib cage, lower your chest down to the mat, and extend the entire body onto the mat. Toes are pointed. Inhale, rotate your shoulders back. Come into a baby cobra. Tuck your toes under, keeping those elbows close to your rib cage. Come up into downward facing dog over your knees. And pedal those ankles. And just find a beautiful stretch in that downward facing dog. And then find some stillness. Making sure that your upper arms are rotated out, your shoulders are square, and your shoulder blades are pulling down towards your sit bones. On the next inhale, look forward. Take your right foot forward towards your hands, and we're going to come into a crescent. Make sure you're firmly pressing into your right foot, and you'll feel that stretch in your left psoas. There's a 90-degree angle between your right calf and thigh. If that feels too wobbly, move your right foot over to the right side of your mat or the edge of your mat. Firmly pull that left heel down towards the mat, and you'll feel that stretch in your psoas increasing. Slightly tilt your pelvis under, keep your core tight so that you don't fall into a hollow back. On the next inhale, we're going to lengthen that spine, and exhale, open that chest up towards the ceiling. Very good. Inhale, lengthen that spine. Exhale, drop that left knee down onto the mat. Take your hands onto the mat. Walk your right foot to the right edge of your mat. And then scoot that left knee as far back as feels comfortable until you feel this beautiful stretch in your left psoas and in your right inner thigh. Drop that left foot down so that your toes are facing down. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, scoot that knee further back, extending that stretch
in that left psoas. Inhale, lengthen. Bend that left knee and grab hold of your left foot with your left hand, opening that chest up towards the ceiling. Look on up. Keep that core tight to feel balance. Dropping the left heel down and the left hip down. You'll feel that stretch in the left psoas. And then let go of the left foot. Come on back into center with both your hands. Firmly press your hands into the mat. Tuck the left toes under. Raise that knee. Come a bit closer back towards and then come back into crescent. Opening up again. And then exhale, come on down. Step back into plank. And then come down, chaturanga. Elbows are close. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. And exhale, push back into downward facing dog. And just walk that dog around that park, giving your head a bit of a shake and a nod. Take those ankles, knees, and hips along while you're walking that dog through the park. And catch your breath. If anything ever gets too much, just go into the child's pose and rest. This is supposed to be fun. And it's a Sunday, and we're just stretching our body. And then find some stillness in that downward facing dog. On the next inhale, look forward and take your left foot forward towards your hand. We're coming into crescent on the left side. Firmly pressing into the soles of your left foot. Reach up, bending that left knee into a 90 degree angle. Firmly pull that right heel back so that you can feel the stretch in your right psoas. Reach your hands up, lengthening that spine. Exhale, drop that right hip down further so you can feel that stretch extend. Again, tilting your pelvis slightly under and keeping that core tight. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, slightly do a back bend just from your lower ribs, offering your chest up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, come on down. Drop your right knee down onto the mat. Take your left foot out to the edge of your mat. And then scoot your right knee back so far until you feel that beautiful stretch in your right psoas and in your left inner thigh. Your toes are facing down of your right foot. Inhale, grow long. Exhale. Inhale. Bend your right knee and grab hold of your foot with your right hand and open your right chest and shoulder. Look up towards the ceiling. On the exhale, drop that right hip down towards the mat. You'll feel that stretch in your right psoas and in your right thigh. And then let go of your foot. Allow it to drop down onto that mat. Tuck your toes under, scoot a bit closer, and we're going to come up into crescent again. And on the next exhale, take your hands down onto the mat, take your foot back, come back into plank, bending your elbows close to your ribcage, down into chaturanga. Inhale, rotate your shoulders back, away from your ears, coming to upward facing dog or cobra. And then slowly pull yourself back into downward facing dog. Walk that dog. Give your head a shake and a nod. And find some stillness in the downward facing dog. And as we've done quite a bit of psoas stretches, we're going to do one more psoas stretch and a hip opener. So on the next inhale, lift your left foot up, pointing the toes of your left foot. Reach the toes up towards the ceiling. Make sure you keep your left shoulder closed. You're in three-legged dog. And then bend that left knee, drop that left heel behind your right hip, opening your left hip. You might feel a stretch in your right thigh, and make sure you're still pressing your chest down towards your right thigh. The next inhale, reach the left toes up towards the ceiling again. Exhale, drop the left foot down.
pedal those feet and feel the difference between the left side and the right side. Find some stillness. And on the next inhale, raise that right leg up. Toes pointed of your right foot. And your chest is turned towards your left thigh. Keep your chest closed. Bend that right knee and drop that right heel behind your left hip. Feel the stretch in your right psoas hips and in your left hip and inner thigh. Make sure you're keeping your chest nice and closed. Your right shoulder is turned towards your left thigh. Inhale, stretch that right foot up towards the ceiling again. Lengthen both legs and you'll feel the stretch in both inner thighs. Exhale, drop your right foot down again and walk that dog one last time. Give your head a shake and a nod. Both sides should feel nice and subtle and long. Find some stillness. Gaze towards your belly button or your thighs. Engage your thighs. Sit bones want to get a glimpse of the ceiling. Inhale, look towards your hands and slowly hop or step towards your hands and just allow your upper body to hang there. Allow gravity to do its job, pulling shoulders and head down towards the mat. If this is too strenuous on your thighs, bend your legs and allow your abdomen to rest on your thighs, curling your chin towards your chest. And on the next inhale, if your legs aren't stretched, stretch your legs, come into a half lift, pulling your shoulders away from your ears, gazing down towards that mat. Exhale, forward fold. And inhale, come all the way up, reaching up towards the ceiling with your fingertips, pulling your shoulders away from your ears, taking your hands in front of your heart center. Come into a seated position on your mat. It's all about psoas today, apparently. We're going to come into reverse tabletop. Your feet are hip distance apart. Take your hands behind your glutes. Your thumbs are touching each other. Take them a fair distance away, about 20 to 30 centimeters. We're going to inhale. We're going to rotate our shoulders backwards, opening our chest. Firmly pressing the palms of your hands into the mat, lengthening your arms. And then we're going to raise our hips up towards the ceiling. Imagine you've got a balloon in between your knees. Squeeze it. It's not going to go anywhere. If you want to drop your head in between your shoulders, if that's comfortable for you, stay like that. If not, just gaze along the front side of your body, along your belly and thighs, down towards that balloon. Firmly press your feet into the ground so your body weight is being carried by the soles of your feet and the palm of your hands. And try to push those hip bones further up. They want to go touch that ceiling. You'll feel your thighs and your glutes working hard. Your bicep might be burning too. Make sure you're lengthening those arms and firmly pressing into those hands. And then exhale, slowly allow those glutes to come down to the mat. Scoot your feet away from your body a tad bit and allow your upper body to come to rest on your thighs. Drop your head in between your knees. Your arms can rest wherever they want to, palms facing up or down, depending on what feels most comfortable to you today. Catch your breath. On the next inhale, come on back and come to lie on your mat. And then scoot your feet back so that you can touch your heels with your fingertips. Your feet are hip distance apart. Your big toes are slightly turned in towards each other. Here again, imagine you have a balloon in between your knees and there's a small ping pong ball between your chin and your chest. Just take that chin down towards your chest and you'll feel that beautiful elongation in your neck.
We're going to inhale. We're going to slightly tilt our pelvis upward. It's itty bitty movement. Imagine your pubic bone wants to come say hi to your nose. So your glutes are off the mat by, I don't know, a finger width or 2 finger width. And exhale, lower that pelvis down again. On the next inhale, raise that pelvis a bit higher, maybe up to mid-back. And there already you'll feel that stretch in your psoas. Firmly press your feet into the ground. And remember, you've got a balloon in between your knees and you've got a ping pong ball in between your chin and your chest. Exhale, lower that pelvis down to the mat again. On the next inhale, let's push those hips all the way up. Remember the balloon and the ping pong ball? Turn your upper arms under your body and your shoulders as well. Interlace your fingers and firmly press the outside of your fists, the outside of your arms into the mat. Now, where you're in an asana where you have weight on your neck, don't look left or right anymore. Deep breathing into your belly, inflating it like a balloon, and firmly push into the soles of your feet, raising your hip bones up towards the ceiling, opening the chest. Two more breaths. Don't forget that balloon and the ping pong ball. And last deep inhale. And let go of your fingers, uncurl your shoulders and upper arms, and slowly lower your spine and hips and glutes onto the mat. Scoot your feet a bit away from your glutes and then just slightly sway your knees from side to side just to work out any possible tension either in your hips or your lower back. And then stretch that right leg out, toes are pointed, and hug that left knee in towards your chest. Make sure that your neck is nicely elongated, your chin is pulling down towards your chest. Your shoulder blades are flat onto that mat, and the toes of your left foot are also pointed. Inhale, and on your exhale, pull that knee close to your chest. Your right leg is growing long out of your right hip, and your lumbar back is firmly pressing into the mat. On the next inhale, change sides. Stretch that left leg out, let it grow long out of your left hip. And then exhale, hug that right knee towards your chest. Toes are pointed on both feet. Lumbar is firmly pressing down towards the mat. And on the next inhale, come on back. Let's come into happy baby pose. Your feet are flexed. You're grabbing hold of your feet from the outside. Your knees are on the inside of your legs. Lengthen that neck. And now pull those shoulder blades down towards the mat again. Most of the time when we go into happy baby, those legs are somewhere stretched 45 or more degrees and the shoulders are away from the mat. Pull those shoulders down. And only then start pulling those feet and knees down towards that mat. And while you're doing that, travel up and down your spine and see whether your neck is nice and flush with the mat. And then are your shoulders flush with the mat? And then further down your spine, try to get that lumbar spine nice and flush with the mat. And lastly, try to get those sit bones down towards the mat or the tailbone, just that lower part of your spine. And the minute the lower part of your spine is on the mat, watch what happens with your neck. It's going to arch. So keep traveling up and down your spine, making your spine flush with that mat, all the while pulling those knees down towards the mat, feeling the stretch, the inside of your thighs. Inhale, let go of those feet, and then just cross those knees so we can close those hips. Grab hold of your knees and pull the knees towards your chest, and you'll feel that stretch in the outside of your hips. If you want to move to the left or the right side, you'll find that spot where you feel the stretch even more. If you don't feel anything, grab hold of your ankles or your feet and gently pull them down towards the mat. You'll feel that stretch. If your right knee is closest to your chest, you'll feel that stretch in the outside of your right hip, maybe in your piriformis, tiny muscle in your glutes. Again, if your right knee is closest to your chest, slowly, gently move over to that left side. Minimal movement, and you'll feel the stretch increase in your right glute. Once you get that spot where stretch is maximal, stay there. On the next inhale, uncross and cross your knees the other way around. Again, either hug those knees towards your chest or grab hold of your ankles and feet and gently pull them down towards the mat. And if your left knee is closest to your chest, you'll feel a stretch in your left glutes. Here again, if you slightly move over to the right, just tilting your knees over to the right, you'll increase that stretch in that piriformis on the left side. The next inhale, come on back and stretch those legs out into bear pose, flexing ankles and wrists. Toes are pulling down towards your chest. Imagine that ceiling wants to come down and squeeze you and squash you. We don't want that. Make sure your neck is nicely elongated and your shoulder blades are flush with the mat. Your legs and arms are engaged, and we're going to stay here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then shake it out. Those ankles and wrists and toes and earlobes, whatever wants to be shaken, shake it out for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then slowly lower your legs and arms down onto the mat. Palms are facing down, and we're going to inhale deeply into our belly. We're going to arch that lower back, then arch our chest. Maybe you want to even raise that chest and shoulders off the mat so that your weight is only on the back of your head. And then we're going to exhale, lower the shoulders down, lower the back down onto that mat, and gently apply a bit of pressure into your lumbar spine to push that into the mat. Tilting your pelvis up, and you'll feel that stretch in your psoas and across your lower abdominals. We're going to go again. Inhale into your belly, arching your lower back, arching your chest, maybe raising the shoulders off the mat, offering your heart up to the ceiling and the heavens. And then exhale, lowering your shoulders and your upper back onto the mat again. Gently pushing your lumbar spine into the mat, tilting that pelvis a bit. Last time, inhale, arching that back, raising your heart up towards the ceiling. And on your exhale, allow your spine to find its natural curve. Turn your palms up towards the ceiling so that your shoulders are flush with the mat. Much deserved Shivassana. And then we'll float straight into the guided meditation afterwards. Make sure if you're cold, you have a blanket somewhere so that you can cover yourself, so that you're comfortable. Allow your feet to fall outward. Allow your breathing to slow down. Allow your body to grow heavy. Your feet and ankles, relax. Your shins and knees, relax. Your thighs and hips, relax. Your belly and chest, Relax. Your shoulders and arms. Relax. Your wrists. The palm of your hands. Your fingers. Relax. Your neck, the back of your head. Relax. Your forehead, your eyebrows, the space in between your eyebrows. Relax. The tip of your nose, your lips, your tongue. Relax. Your lower jaw, your chin. Relax. Your cheeks, your ears. Relax. Entire backside of your body. Relax. The entire front side of your body. Relax. Allow your body to grow heavy. Sink into the mat. Relax. Feel that support beneath you. And connect with the ground below. And let it take your weight. Become aware of the sounds around you. And let them be there. Notice the light and shade. The air touching the surface of your body. Sense the sky above and the horizons stretching all the way around you. Allow your mind to empty what it no longer needs to hold on to. Let it go. Flow out and away. Allow your body to release what it no longer needs to hold on to. Let it go. Flow out and away. Draw your energies back home to your center. And ground yourself in this moment, here, now. Begin to sense the space around you. Breathe with this space. Become aware of the rise and fall of your breath. It's coming and going. The sensation, the sound, the temperature. Breathe down to where the weight of your body rests. Below the base of your spine, to your root, your chakra of belonging. Breathe into your root. And let it soften and gently expand on your breath. Taking in nourishment and life force energy. Allow your root to connect down to the ground below, deep into the earth. And invite in the color red, the color of the earth. Bathe your root with red, empowering, embodying, grounding you into the here and now. Let your root take what it needs and say the words, I am here. I have a right to be here as I am. The earth supports me. When you're ready, allow your awareness to move up to your belly, just below your navel, to your hara, your chakra of emotional intelligence, choice, creativity, movement, and pleasure. Breathe into your hara and let it gently soften and expand on your breath. Taking in nourishment and life force energy. And invite in orange, the color of the setting sun. Bathe your hara with this orange, balancing, empowering, and motivating. Let your hara be fed and say the words, I honor my needs. I allow myself to be nourished. When you're ready, move your awareness up to that soft area, just below your breastbone, to your solar plexus, your chakra of personal power. Breathe into here, allowing your solar plexus to soften and expand on your breath. And invite in the color yellow. The color of sunshine. Bathe your solar plexus with sunshine. Replenishing, restoring, and nurturing. Letting your solar plexus take what it needs. As you say the words, I value myself. I am enough. I am more than enough. I am worth my weight in gold. When you're ready, bring your awareness up to the center of your chest, to your heart. Your chakra of self-development and unconditional love. Gently breathe into your heart, letting it soften and expand on your breath. Invite in the color green, the color of spring, or rose pink, whichever feels right to you today. Bathe your heart center with nourishment, renewal, and healing. Let your heart take what it needs. And say the words, I am greatly loved. I allow myself to give and receive love freely. I am nourished by the power of love. In your own time, move up to your neck, to your throat, your chakra of self-expression and personal will. Allow your throat center to soften, expand, and breathe. Inviting in blue, the color of the sky. Breathe sky into your throat center, clearing, opening, softening the need for control, freeing self-expression and creativity. Let your throat take what it needs. And say the words, I hear and speak my truth. I express myself freely. I allow myself to go with the flow of life. When you're ready, take your focus up to your forehead, that space between your eyebrows, up to your third eye, the chakra of wisdom and intuition, gently allowing it to soften, expand, and breathe. Inviting in indigo, the velvety color of night sky. And bathe your third eye with indigo, soothing, balancing, bringing clarity, insight, and understanding. Let your third eye take what it needs and say the words, everything is unfolding as it should. Moving up in your own time, move up to your crown chakra. The top of your head. Your chakra of oneness, allowing your crown to breathe. And gently invite in a light violet, softly bathing your crown, balancing, restoring, harmonizing. Let your crown take what it needs and say the words, I am one with the universe. I am one with the whole. When you're ready, come back to yourself as a whole. Back to the ebb and flow of your breath. Back to your center. And breathe into your core. And say the words, I am whole. I am perfect, just as I am. Allow the energy of the words to bathe your body, mind, and emotions and spirit. And take what you need. And in your own time, become aware of the air on the surface of your body. The sounds around you, near and far. And close your chakras down a little. Just having the intention is enough. Become aware of the support beneath you. Notice how you feel. And hold yourself with loving kindness for the beautiful, unique being that you are. With your next inhale, bring the awareness back into your body and wriggle your toes and fingers. And take a deep breath into your belly and stretch yourself from the tip of your toes all the way up to the tip of your fingers. Slowly waking each and every cell. When you're ready, curl one knee after the other towards your chest and gently sway from side to side, activating the nadis left and right of your spine. And then come into embryo pose on your left side, drawing knees and forehead closer together. And allow that sensation of utter peace and calmness to settle throughout your body and mind. When you're ready, come up to a comfortable seated position. Root down through your sit bones into that mat one last time and sit up nice and tall. Hands come to rest either in your lap or on your knees. Shoulders are relaxed away from your ears. Your thighs, hips, and forehead are at ease. And scan your body for any dis-ease or discomfort. Should you encounter any, acknowledge on your inhale and release on your exhale. We're going to do 3 lines breaths. We're going to inhale through our nose and we're going to exhale through our open mouth. You're more than welcome to stick out your tongue if you'd like to. Inhale and exhale. Again, inhale and exhale. Last time. And exhale. take your hands in Anjalina Mudra in front of your heart center, lightly touching your thumbs to your sternum. Lower your forehead down to your fingertips in gratitude for the effort and time you invested in the greatest person in the world, yourself. Move your thumbs up to your forehead. Love is in your thoughts. Move them down to your lips. Love is in your words. And then all the way down to your heart center where love resides. And allow that feeling to spread throughout your emotional and physical body, beyond your body, into the universe. Allow it to touch as many people as you want. Thank you for joining my class. Wishing you a beautiful day. One last wish for you. With gratitude and love, I realize who I am, what I have, and what I have to give. I wish you a beautiful Sunday.
Welcome to the Taurus full moon on this very special morning. And it's so lovely to be here with all of you. I do appreciate everybody making the time and effort to be here. And it's just lovely to be here with you this morning. Thank you, Yvette, for the beautiful yoga. And I am going to be chatting with you today about, and the beautiful guided meditation. I'll be chatting with you today about the Taurus full moon, which actually occurred yesterday. And today was just a better day for us to host this event. There we go. So the full moon yesterday was on the 31st of October, just about 10 to 5 p.m. South Africa time, and then please adjust that for your location. And this full moon was in the sign, and still is, the moon is still in the sign of Taurus, opposite the sun in the sign of Scorpio. Now, with every full moon, we have an opposition of the moon being 180 degrees away from the sun. And that in itself sort of creates a bit of a tug of war within ourselves, because there's two opposite strong energies that are pulling. We've got the sun on the one side of the earth and the moon on the other side, and the earth's in the middle, and there's just this strong pull, which is also why we often do see earthquakes occur around full moons, because it's this extra pull coming from the planets and their magnetic force and their gravitational force pulling on the earth, which is in the middle of these two celestial bodies. Now, this full moon is particularly special because it happened on the eve of Halloween, which is mostly celebrated amongst the Western culture, mostly in America. And Halloween, the last time there was a full moon on Halloween was in 1944, and the next full moon on Halloween will be in 2039. So the fact that it was full moon yesterday on Halloween in itself is very, very special. Also, what is special is that every 2.5 years or so, we have 2 full moons in 1 month, which is what we had yesterday, which is known as the blue moon. And of course, the effects of any full moon are felt up to a week before the time you'll start getting the inkling, up to 3 days leading up to the full moon, the actual full moon event, and up to 3 days afterwards are pretty intense, but you'll still feel it flowing over for the rest of the week, the energies of this full moon. And the energies of this full moon are abundant in many ways. Firstly, in the southern hemisphere, the ancient pagan festival of fertility called Beltane is what we would be celebrating and what we are celebrating in South Africa, and that is, or anywhere in the southern hemisphere, and that is that we are halfway between the spring equinox and the summer equinox, summer solstice. And this time of the year for everyone in the southern hemisphere is about fertility and the coming of the summer, which is the ancient pagan tradition that is normally celebrated in the northern hemisphere. And then as the northern hemisphere people migrated down to the south, they would take these ceremonies and festivities with them. Now, many people in the north would have celebrated Samhain, which is an old Celtic celebration, which relates to the middle point between the autumn equinox and the winter solstice. And this is a time when it's getting darker and darker in the north. And the 31st of October would be the last day of October, and the farmers would start taking in all their cattle to get them out of the cold, because it now is starting to get even darker and colder up in the north. Sometimes they would even slaughter the cattle because it would be a great time of the year to do so, because the weather's getting colder and the meat would last longer, and it would give them nourishment through the very cold and barren months to come throughout the winter in the northern hemisphere. And these are the ancient ceremonies that are related to the seasons and the fact that the sun is moving, the earth is moving around the sun, and with that, the seasons are changing. So in the north, it's the end of the harvest season and the beginning of the winter and the darker half of the year. And in the southern hemisphere, it's the festival of fertility and the days getting longer and us moving into summer. And in both instances, we are talking about abundance, be it the end of the harvest in the northern hemisphere or the beginning and the planting of the new crops in the southern hemisphere. The moon in Taurus in this time of the year with the celebrations of Halloween are very abundant. It's a celebration of abundance. The combination of, in the northern hemisphere, on that 31st of October, when this time period has ended of we realizing the days are getting shorter and it's getting colder, and this acceptance that there's going to be a change, that it is going to get colder and darker, would leave this little space of endings of harvest with the beginning of the new. How do we maintain this harvest through until the next spring in the northern hemisphere? And it was this transition time that then also was the celebration of All Hallows Eve, which allowed for this transition. It would give a time that we'd say, now in the Christian calendar, this is known as All Souls or All Saints. It would give the time that between that last harvest and those very first cold winter days, there's a bit of a gap. And during this gap, it's a time to celebrate all the harvest of the past, but at the same time also plan and discover what it is that you want to plan for the future. And these are the celebrations of All Souls or All Saints, which these days has all been mushed into one with the Halloween celebration on the 31st of October. And it happened to happen on this full moon. So yesterday was really an amazing day to celebrate all the abundance in life and the changes that it brings with it. Now we can see with this full moon, over and above the fact that it did happen on Halloween at this point of change, is that we have the planet Uranus in the same degree as the moon at 8 degrees. And what this brings, Uranus in itself is known as the Great Awakener and the Liberator. He supports independence and freedom and being a maverick, or being very unique and innovative and forward-thinking in one's ways. Now, the moon in Taurus herself is a fixed earth sign, and she very much relates to farming and growing things and wanting to create more of something. The sign of Taurus is about having material substance because it's an earth sign. It's very practical and it wants to grow and make more of things. Being a fixed sign, Taurus is about reliability, about consistency, and about stability. And Taurians can feel insecure if they don't have enough. Matters related around sensuality are synonymous with the Taurus moon. All 5 senses, everything you can smell, taste, hear, feel, are almost a sense of foundation for a Taurian. The Taurians need their creature comforts. They can be quite hedonistic in their way. So there's this idea of practical consistency and maintenance of the things that I have, and the sense of abundance that comes with Taurus, the harvest, the things that you've gathered, or planting in your garden the new harvest, which we're doing in the southern hemisphere, where we're talking about fertility. And the base of Taurus is very much about security and stability and safety. And they need an even keel to feel comfortable, because it's about a fixed sign. It doesn't want to change things. Taurus represents also our value systems and our self-esteem and self-worth and the things that we own. And there's a sense of traditional energy about Taurus, because it very much relates to in the ancient days when there were tribes of people all over, and we used to be, in the Paleolithic days, we used to be hunter-gatherers, right? And then during the Meso times, before we came into the modern times, there was this changeover of actually taking your animals and keeping them in a cage, or sowing seeds and growing your own crops, as opposed to being hunter-gatherers and following the herds of animals to wherever they were going and eating the fruits of wherever the season ran. It was the sense of, wow, if I actually sow my seed right here, I don't have to move, and I can grow my own food, and I can gather enough food and keep the grain for the winter months. And this is very synonymous with Taurus. It's about being a farmer. It's about having property. It's about being in one place and having family and growing in abundance all the things that are required, and being fixed in nature. In other words, not upping and going and off like the hunter-gatherers, but rather like the Neolithic lifestyle that we have now, to be settled in one area and gain the material world. Taurus, being an earth sign, being practical and tangible, is very much about ownership and what I can gather in the material world. Considering that we are spiritual beings having a material experience, Taurus is about as material as we can get. It is all about the tangible and the celebration of being in a body and feeling and tasting and enjoying the abundance of life. Now, Taurus, being so fixed in its nature and wanting to have stability and consistency, struggles with the idea of Uranus, which is this unexpected sudden change of doing something new, because it goes completely against the nature of a fixed sign. If you think of the earth as a flat piece of land, and if it's very rigid and an earthquake were to come, those pieces of ground would break off in really big chunks, and it would cause a lot of damage if there's a lot of resistance. Yet if you think that the earth would maybe be less resistant and crumble a little bit like the shatter glass that you get in cars for safety, where a bit of the earth would crumble everywhere, then you wouldn't have these massive big shocks of massive land territory kind of cracking up and causing a lot of damage. So the point being here that even though Taurus likes to be stable and fixed and reliable because it feels secure in doing so, Uranus at this full moon, and we will still feel it very strongly for today and the rest of the week, is asking that part of our chart where Taurus is to actually rock the boat a little bit, try something new, do something unexpected, evolve in an innovative forward-thinking way. So in terms of the world, because the moon in Taurus also relates to farming per se and food and abundance, this could, for instance, be an acknowledgement that we need new technologies in terms of how we grow our crops to feed the population. We need new ways to look after our earth, because the moon very much relates to home and family and the home life and the family and how we manage this. And there's a need with Uranus being over there to say we need to evolve how we think about family. This could also mean for any Taurians that they are moving, because Uranus is change and moon is home and mother, or there could be changes around how they mother, perhaps a sudden pregnancy or anything around family and home, moon, mothering, feeding. There's big changes around that, and we will look to all the signs to see where this is happening for you. Now, on the opposite end of this full moon, we have the sun in the sign of Scorpio, and Scorpio is also a fixed sign, just as Taurus is. But there the sign is in a water sign. So here we talk about fixed emotions, unchanging emotions, commitments. And it is very important for a Scorpio person to have relationships. They benefit a lot about relationships, and Scorpios want deep transformational relationships. There's nothing lighthearted about a Scorpio. Scorpio has a great need to desire. If Taurus wants to have things, Scorpio has the sense that I want to desire, and I feel passionate and have a lot of depth. It is the sign of transformation. So for Scorpio, it's about creating emotional networks that favor your family, for instance, the emotional bonds, the loyalties that run deep. I wash your hands and help you, and then you're indebted to me, and then you'll help me. And in that way, we'll stay emotionally connected. There's a need for emotional consistency. Kind of the term like, I love you no matter what, I will always love you. This bond will stay with us forever. That is very much a deep Scorpio kind of way of loving. And it very much relates to power and also political resources. Because if you think in the olden days, when we go back to the Paleolithic years, and there was, little tribes of a couple of hundred people, the bigger the tribe became, the less contact you have with everyone. And then it was important to make connections with those in higher places, or those that you want to be connected to. And if they asked you for a favor, you would willingly want to do it, because then you knew that they would be indebted to you. And in that way, you have good connections. And obviously, you want to make connections with those that are wise, intelligent, good, benefic to you. And that's the whole idea about Scorpio, is that they can sometimes come across as controlling and powerful, very sexual in their nature as well, very passionate, can be very secretive. A Scorpio will want to know everything about everyone else, but not necessarily share their personal life. And they have a great sense of, the Scorpio nature is a great one of perception and being a catalyst. I often think of Scorpio, the transformer. If I think of a beautiful little snake, and as it grows, the skin suddenly becomes too tight for the snake, and it has to let go of that old sheath of skin to come out stronger. And Scorpio has that tendency to push deeper, because it will not let go from an emotional bond, and it will transform and do what it needs to stay in these bonds. So we have a very fixed Taurus that doesn't like change, or a very fixed emotional sun that doesn't like change. And Uranus has come along and is shaking both of them up, saying, re-look and rework these emotional bonds that you have, so that you can free up whatever's almost, if I may say, holding you back materially, because Taurus is a very material, wants that, the tradition, my great parents did it, so that's why I want to do it. And Uranus is coming along and saying, but maybe it's time to be more innovative and forward thinking and a maverick, and break from these bonds and try something new. So this energy is really strong around the full moon that we have at the moment. And supporting the moon, because the ruler of Taurus, of course, is Libra. And Libra is in her own rulership at the moment, boding very well for relationships and supporting the peace and the harmony that goes around in Libra, to support these big changes that are happening for everyone. And equally so, the ruler of the sun in Scorpio is Mars, and Mars is also in its rulership. Granted, it is retrograde, So there's this strong sense of ambition and assertion and powerfulness that comes with Mars, that is as dynamic as it is when it's in rulership. It loves being in the sign of Aries, yet because it's retrograde, we can feel the changes that are imminent and that we want to have, so that we can evolve and be more closer to our own inner truth and core. And yet we might feel a little bit frustrated that we can't actually act on it yet, because the Mars is still retrograde. But Mars does go direct on the 13th of November, stations to go direct. And you will feel that after the 13th, 14th of November, wherever Mars is transiting in your chart, will start easing up, and you can actually start moving forward to make the changes. And we can see that Mars is making the square up to the planets Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter, which are really what this whole year has been about, because they all move slow and they've been in these signs forever. And it was Pluto and Saturn that joined up beginning in January of this year, which kicked off the whole COVID disease. Pluto being about death and transformation. And we have Jupiter and Pluto 3 times this year joining up. And Jupiter is about excess and grandiosity and too much of something. It rules money and travel. And it's been joining up with Pluto, the planet of death and transformation. And it did this once in April the 4th. And it did it again in June. And the last time that they connect together is on the 13th of November. And when I saw this at the beginning of the year, I thought, as long as Jupiter and Pluto are coming together in the sky, and this doesn't happen very often, and certainly not as frequently as 3 times in a year. If this could happen, it would only happen once every 13 years, but then sometimes they only join up once. But this year it's been 3 times, and my gut feeling was that every time Jupiter, the planet of excess and too much, is joining up with Pluto, the virus, that the numbers will rise and become more. It also relates to travel, of course. Pluto, the ending of travel. It relates to finances, the ending of things. And at the same time, Pluto being the ending and death and detoxing of certain things can then, of course, rebirth new ways in the matters of finance and travel, and also law is what Jupiter rules. So this is all happening with Mars activating the old order, saying this is over and done and we need to move forward. And because it's still a little bit retrograde, we can see what needs to be done and we might prepare for it, but we're really going to take off from about the 14th of November, activating these new things to get rid of this. We've done 3/4 of this for the year already. And by the middle of December, Saturn moves into a new sign, Jupiter will have moved on and this energy will be gone. So we're still in the throes of realizing the old order is outdated. It needs to be regenerated and overhauled. We're in the process of doing this. And the full moon and the week up to yesterday and the week after yesterday will activate and just show us where it is that we need to still let go and regenerate certain matters. And so the Mars is supporting the strong sun, and the Venus is supporting the Taurus. And this is really good for us because it gives us this push to actually move forward. Now, remember, on each full moon, because the sun is opposite the moon, there's a lot of light in the sky and we might struggle to fall asleep. But at the same time, it's also a time of enlightenment, because we can see things that we haven't seen before, or perhaps we find something that we lost because it's lighter, as above, so below. And internally within ourselves, the full moon is also a time to actually see our own inner truth and awaken to a point of culmination or climax around this full moon. Whatever it is that we started on the 16th of October when we had the new moon has now reached a point. 2.5 weeks later, we've reached the climax of this, whatever it is that we wanted to do in the last 2 weeks. And we might not have done as much as we wanted to, but certainly what we have managed to do, we can be very grateful for. So this full moon time is always a fabulous time to be grateful for all the amazing things that have happened in our life. And it's also a great time to forgive ourselves for that we haven't accomplished. Maybe we had 100 things on the list and we only managed 80, and suddenly the full moons arrive and we're upset with ourselves that we haven't managed the other 20. And this is a time to forgive ourselves for such, but also it's a time to forgive ourselves for any energies that are of the lower octave. fear, toxins, negative energies, anything that upsets us, any negative patterns that we have. It's time to be gentle with ourselves and forgive ourselves, and instead rather make a gratitude list of everything that we can be grateful for. I did pull a card before the session started towards the end of Yvette's meditation, and the card reads nourishment. I did a prayer saying, what do we as a group need today during this beautiful celebration event? And the card nourishment came up. It reads, I give my body healthy and nourishing food. I create situations that nourish my mind, body, and spirit on every level. And I thought this was so apt for the Taurus full moon, because it is about this embodiment of us being spiritual beings, but we are in a physical body. So this is the message that I want to give to everyone today, is that even though we've got Uranus shaking up the status quo of a very fixed nature, ultimately, if we make sure that we're nourishing ourselves both in spirit and in body, that we take this time to be nourishing towards ourselves, then we can handle these changes a lot easier. I did take a picture actually 2 days before the full moon. This is a terrible picture because it was taken with my cell phone. As a matter of fact, this is the original photo. Warren and I were sitting in the garden at the end of the day, and boom, up came the moon with Mars right next to it as the night began. And I then zoomed into it, and you can see Mars right next to the moon, which is what you can see here in the chart as well. There's Mars up in the sky next to the moon. It was very visible, and I zoomed in on it. I thought it was lovely to see, because there's not many full moons where we have the Mars this close to it. And also because Mars is retrograde, it's closer to the Earth and bigger for us to visually see. So the combination of Mars being retrograde and this close to a moon is very rare. It probably happens every once or twice a century. So there we go. We have a lovely picture of it. I will now start going through the 12 signs. Remember that you can relate to your ascendant sign as how you interact with the world, to your sun sign as your outward yang expression of how you radiate and shine out in the world. And your moon sign is more your reflective, internal, yin, reactive, subjective expression of yourself. I love Jofra Boshart's art. I've used him again today as I go through all of the signs. So let's look to the Taurians. For you, this is of course happening, and I'm starting with Taurus because it's a Taurus full moon. This is happening in an area in your life that relates to your persona and your physical body. Maybe it's a new hairstyle. Maybe you're moving things around your home. Maybe you're moving home with the Uranus so close to that moon in your sign. Changes around home and family, and how this reflects for you out in the world, showing us that this Taurian is changing in whatever form that might be. And this could be difficult for the Taurians. As a matter of fact, all the fixed signs, also Aquarius and Leo, will also struggle a little bit more with these changes that the Taurus moon is bestowing us as a gift to help us find our own truth. And these changes about the Taurians are very much related to these commitments in relationships that you have, right? So this is the axis of the full moon. It's about me and myself and what changes I need to make as a Taurian to become more independent, to awaken and to have breakthroughs about my personality that allow me more freedom and innovation in how I live in this world and how my personality comes across in the world. And to do this, there might be a requirement to change things about certain relationships, because the Scorpio aspect for you is in an area that is very much bound to relationships. And it could be that these relationships are very much behind the scenes for you. People in your life that are sort of hidden or secretive, or very spiritual. It could be also relationships in your life relating to people that are very spiritual and help you to find imagination, or could even be from friends that are overseas and kind of not visible. They're there, but they're not really there, and they're having an influence on you, and they can help you with these changes that you want to experience within your own persona and your own physical being and your body and your health.
The changes that can be made in relationships, and that the friends could help change us, and the regeneration. Thank you. Yes. So the regeneration for the Taurians is happening in an area of your life related to belief systems and higher studies and foreigners, philosophies, gurus, counselors. And in that area of your life where you used to travel, or specific studies that you're doing related to spiritual work or university degrees, all those matters around law and wisdom and belief systems for you are reaching a sell-by date. You're 3/4 through in this year, and it's an absolute requirement, and you'll feel like the last little push in November, when Jupiter and Pluto conjunct in this area of your life, that there's a sense of conclusion or solutions or adjustment about all these matters related to travel and foreigners and belief systems and spirituality and studies. Yeah, and it is also an area in your life related to your day-to-day routine and the friends that you have at work, and to work in a way, your day-to-day labor that is related to the thing that you love doing. It's about being essential and beautiful and working with women and speaking in a very fair manner, communicating in a very peaceful, fair manner that will help you regenerate your belief systems, but it will also help you come forth as a new version of who you are, that these changes are, that this full moon is giving us the opportunity to experience. So for all the Geminis, this is happening for you in an area that is very much related to secrets and loss and letting go and being behind the scenes and connecting to imagination and God and spirit, or the collective per se. Very much, you know, if I say the collective, this could be like an event today where one meets a lot of people from behind the scenes, people who are not visible, but they are still there, and one connects in the light of the spiritual realms, and connecting through meditation, through yoga, and through the other realms that aren't physically visible, is the energy of the awakening and the breakthrough that comes for all the Geminis. Assisting with that is this pure love of creativity, of giving of self, and being creative in expression in a very harmonious, beautiful, sensual, pleasurable way that allows for giving love of self. There's almost this freedom of saying, I feel more comfortable being feminine and being beautiful and giving love of myself. This could relate also to creating art, doing something beautiful. It can very much relate also to one's children, the Venus influence onto these changes of working behind the scenes. And it's discussions with others in a very peaceful manner related to resources that you can receive from other people, which is where for Gemini, this regeneration of the old order to the new order, and the letting go of the old sense of paradigm of security, which has fallen away 3/4 already for this year, where you've got this last little push to let go of the old order and create the new. And it's interactive, uplifting, creative thoughts and communications coming in from others that help you make this transformation. And also the Mars energy is in an area in your life that very much relates to the community at large, in terms of society, groups of people, friends, and hopes and dreams. This is your time to be assertive and powerful and dynamic about what it is that you dream for yourself. Oops, I actually need to change this to the Gemini picture. Let me see. There we go. So with the Geminis, sorry, there was that little disruption of going offline that put me on the, just made me forget about changing the picture. So for the Geminis, it's being assertive and powerful and dynamic about the dreams and hopes that you have for yourself. And it's very much about having these ambitions about what are your ideal hopes and dreams, and who are the people in society that would like to join you on this journey. And that in itself will help you create the change in this area of your life where you rely on other people's resources. So this could be financial, emotional, spiritual, that you receive resources from other people, and there's this need in your evolution to make these changes. And this is done very much from behind the scenes, and there's also a lot of research involved in this area of your life that the full moon is in. This is a time to be isolated, feel like you want to actually step away from the world, do your research, and find out what it is in your day-to-day work that you are having the Scorpio energy of being glued to old ways that you feel give you support, and yet that need changing, so that you can actually move forward and connect with the new society and new friends, and with your dreams of making those changes. If you get stuck in your day-to-day routine, or any illnesses or diseases that you have, or the staff that you're working with, or the person that you are of service to, if you're getting too stuck in that way, then you can't, or you're going to struggle making those changes. And Mars is here to say, I'm ready to help you to make those changes through believing in your dreams and being aware that it's a time for change. So let's move on to Cancer. So for all the Cancerians, for you, this full moon is happening in an area of your life that has everything to do with your dreams and hopes and wishes coming true, as well as society and groups of friends. So it could be that suddenly you have a brand new hope and dream, an ideal that you've never had before. Or it could be that you're meeting a whole bunch of new people that you've never met before, that you really enjoy, who are innovative and maybe maverick, and allow you to be independent and give you the sense of break free and break through into a newer version of yourself. It's very much related to making changes in how you give love. There's almost this stagnant loyalty and power around how you give love, or matters related to children, or how you are creative. And that needs to be shook up a little bit, so that you can actually start moving forward in your career in a more dynamic and powerful, assertive and ambitious way. And this is tied into relationships that you are in that are outdated, that are authoritarian, that have a power over you that you no longer want or desire for yourself anymore. It's time to regenerate the relationships in your life. And this could be marriage, business partner, live-in lover, close friends, so that you can move forward in your status in your life and how you shine out in the world. And it's the changes around how you're giving it love and how you're expressing love, and the people that you connect to in society at large, the income that you're earning, the love that you're receiving from others, that you feel there's this shakeup, and it's time to actually step forward and not be fearful and say, I'm ready for this unexpected sudden change. I know it's difficult for me as a Taurian, but you know, not Taurian, it's in an area of your life that relates to friends, where you always want to be loyal and not have changes, and the way that you give love to, you want to stay loyal and stick with tradition. And now this Uranus full moon is activating that area of your life, saying, try and loosen that up a little bit, and it'll help you reach your success out in the world in terms of your career. For the Leos, for you, this is happening in an area of your life that is all about your career and your profession, and how you shine out in the world, and what your personal sense of highest success is. Might be sudden changes at work, maybe a sudden proposal for marriage, because it's an area of our life where we shine our personal success, and marriage falls into this area as well. Anything about a status in how you shine out in the world and what your vocation is, and what your reputation is. There's a big change coming up there for you, for all the Leos. And there's a need to loosen up and accept and let go of certain family values or ways around family life that might be holding you back, where you're being incredibly loyal and bound to, in a very deep way, to certain family matters and ways, that unless these are changed, and the relationships around family and home, possibly even males, because we're talking about the sun in Scorpio, there's something's changing around the home dynamic, so that you can actually shine and be more independent and free around your work environment. Helping you along with your career are females that are very loving and pleasurable and helpful and creative and kind and peaceful and also fair. And communications with your co-workers about how your day-to-day routine needs an overhaul and a regeneration. It's the sell-by date is over. It's 3/4 done for this year. You've got another month or two to kind of wind up your day-to-day routine, to get rid of the old order, something about that old order of your day-to-day routine. It could be your pets. It can also be how you are of service to other people. There's a lot of communication from people who are very fair in this situation, who are going to help you understand this need for regeneration in your day-to-day routine and in your workplace. And the support that you're getting to make these changes around the home are very much related to foreigners, overseas, belief systems, philosophies, religions, spiritual studies, higher studies, gurus, lawyers that are helping you to be assertive about the changes that you need to make in your day-to-day routine, so that you can thrive out in the career world or in your own personal sense of status. Gosh, I forgot to change the Leo. There's the Leo picture. I'm not being so good on the picture changing. So let me change it to Virgo before I start on Virgo. So for all the Virgo participants that are here to us, or the audience that will listen to the recording later on, for you, the full moon is happening in an area of your life that relates to your belief systems and religion and philosophy and higher studies and education, gurus, counselors, universities. There's an energy around those belief systems that for you is shaking up. Uranus is active in this area, saying be innovative and new and learn new things so that you can become a better teacher, for instance, or travel to new places in your mind even, or in your belief systems, and move away from the stagnant feeling of loyalty and control around your thought patterns and about your neighborhood and about your thinking and communicating in your short distance travel, and be more open-minded towards changes in the long distance travel and into the spiritual belief systems. Helping you with that is a very dynamic, ambitious, and assertive kind of relationship that's coming into your life, or that is in your life, that can make you understand that by being less fearful to love and express who you are will help you forward in this way, because there's this old paradigm and old authoritarian oppressive way related to family and home for you. Sorry, not family and home, for how you express yourself. Matters related to children, your children, and how you are creative and how you interact with your children, how you give love of yourself, how you have fun. There's a paradigm shift required here for the Virgos to let go of old traumas or something blocking you in terms of how you give love to others and how you are creative and how you deal with your children. And this is coming certainly from an area very much related to transformation. It's time to understand that by allowing other people to be a resource for you, both financial or spiritual or emotional, you can let go of a lot of these traumas and give more of yourself with less fear. And we're really talking here about value systems, self-esteem, and fairness, and peace and harmony, and pleasure, understanding that these are very important for you as a value system, and that through this value system of nourishing yourself and having self-esteem for yourself, you can then make those changes about your belief systems, and it'll help you with your studies to kind of free you and liberate you in the way that you're thinking. So let me move on to Libra. For all the Librans, this is happening in an area of your life very much related to transformation. Time to let go of old fears and become more intimate. Don't be that scared anymore. And this involves being a resource for others, or them being a resource for yourself. What is aiding you in this is your own beauty and how you give love, and how, the fact that you're such a fair person, and that you're great at negotiating and helping people in their disputes to bring them together in a harmonious way. That in itself will lend your worth and value to others to trust in you and believe in you and support you. The place where you're a little bit stuck in the old ways, which now need to be shook up, is very much about your self-esteem and your value system and your money that you own. There is a need for you to build up powerful and dynamic relationships with other people, so that you can that you can create an area in your life that gives you this emotional knowledge and support, that you know that you'll be supported. This is coming through very dynamic new relationships, and it's your inner psychology of the home life and the family life that needs the regeneration. The core of who you are, the basis of who you are, is no longer requiring the stability and the structures and the authorities of what it has had over the last 29 odd years. And it's the relationships that you're forming with new people that are allowing you to change matters around home and family life. This could be relocation, this could be just changes within the home, renovating, fixing the home, and your own inner psychology as well. What is it in terms of what you need to feel secure within, so that you can have these changes happening in your life related to how other people are support systems to you, or you to them, and the intimacy around that. I know we're going to start running a little bit over time, but I'm going to just keep moving on and trying to keep it short and sweet. So for Scorpio, I'm actually going to give myself 5 minutes over time, because we started about 5 minutes past, half past. So for Scorpio, this is very strongly felt for you in the environment of your relationships. The full moon with its Uranus wanting changes is about relationships, changes, unexpected sudden new relationships, unexpected endings of old relationships. And there's the need within yourself to understand that by changing your day-to-day routine, and specifically also anything around health and matters, and matters around health as well as staff, or you being of service to others, is where the help is coming for you to realize that your own persona and how you shine out in the world can change in a very dynamic way. What is my day-to-day routine? How am I of service to other people? If I can change that, or matters related to disease control or management or health and fitness and diet, by changing that, you're changing yourself, and with that you can allow these new relationships, which are very innovative and forward-thinking. Uranus is about also the computer industry and all the innovative way of computers. So it could be that, that you have relationships with people who know a lot more about IT and connect you in that kind of innovative, forward-thinking way. The support that you're getting to assist you along the route is very much coming from behind the scenes, mostly females, not visible to you, but they're there to support you. This can also very much relate to prayer and painting, on being isolated and being on your own. Those friends that allow you to be on your own, or you doing activities like yoga or painting where you are with others, but you're kind of in your own space, that will certainly help you in these new relationships and the new paradigms around relationships that you are experiencing. For you, the thought processes are changing. There's an old way of thinking that is outdated, authoritarian, oppressive, which you are now outgrowing. By the end of the year, it will be over and done. It's very much related to siblings, neighbors, environment, how you think, write, talk, all the paperwork stuff. It's time to overhaul that and move forward so that your day-to-day routine and matters around staff can help you change into this new being of being open and available to these exciting new relationships that are coming into your life. So for Sagittarians, we can see that the full moon is happening in an area of your life that is everything to do with your day-to-day routine, your labor that you give out into the world, the staff that you employ, or people who employ you for your services. There is this big shift. And of course, with the Taurus energy, there's always this resistance, right? Because Taurus is known to be stubborn and persistent and likes to do the things in the same way. But Uranus is now here saying, change up and do things differently. And helping you along with that will be females in your society, friends, groups of people, the salary, the money that you can earn from these changes in your day-to-day routine. That will help you a lot to make those changes. And there could be a need for you to understand isolation or being alone or the spiritual world or matters related to overseas to be very beneficial and helpful to you. The ambitious, assertive energy is coming from a place of where you are very creative. So if you start employing more of the creativeness into a lifestyle where you can be more isolated or connect to the collective as a whole, or possibly even matters related to your children, and them being a factor that allows you to have more time for yourself to be alone, that will help you make these changes in your day-to-day routine. And certainly there's also a big influence about your financial status and how you've been managing your monies. There's this old oppressive authoritarian way that needs regeneration and regenerating. And this is being aided to you by friends and groups of people, by your own dreams that you have that will allow you to let go of the old order so that you can be more truthful and with the times as to the evolved new version of yourself. So let's look to the Capricorns. So for you, the better part of this year has been about letting go of the old authoritarian, oppressive ways of who you are. It could be related to your physical body, your image out in the world, how you shine out into the world. And during this full moon, there is a sudden change in your romantic life. We're talking about giving and how you give love to others. This could be creativity. This could relate to having a holiday, having lots of fun, entertainment, being a lover. So there's something exciting. There's a change. It could also relate to children. There's a very exciting new change coming into your life about children and being creative and giving of yourself. And this stuck kind of version of having these emotional, deep bonds with society at large is also changing a little bit in relation to your home life, your home and family life. There's an assertive, ambitious, powerful, dynamic activity around home life. Either you're renovating or you're buying a property or you're fixing things around the home. And that will help you bring friends and groups of society and the love that you receive from others into your home life, where you can then be more creative in your expression. So perhaps you're redesigning your home, or you having artists come into your home, but there's a sense of a lot of love and beauty around home life. And this in itself is aided by how the world sees you in terms of your status out in the world. There's a lot of love and energy around young women and beauty and harmony connected to the energy of this full moon. Let's have a look at Aquarius. So for Aquarius, these big changes are happening to you in your home and family life. This is where the changes are happening. your roots, your foundation, the perception of a father figure, your roots. There needs to be change. I don't know if people are moving who are Aquarians, or they're fixing things around the home. There's definitely a great change for matters around the home life. Thank you for reminding me to change the picture. Yeah, so for the Aquarians, there's definitely a time of letting go also. That is where your exploration date has happened. There's this regeneration around letting go of the old order, letting go of being isolated, letting go of a belief system, a connection to spirit and God and the collective. There is the sense of you've been working behind the scenes, and that has been oppressive and also just outdated. And there's a need to change your thoughts and sort out paperwork and writing and communicating and teaching. Matters related to your immediate environment and neighborhood or your daily commute will assist you in sorting out this letting go of this old paradigm, so that you can emerge as this new version of yourself. But you're still in the throes of it. It's not quite done. It's the last leg of what needs to be sorted out. And this will allow you to set yourself free in terms of your home and family life, and also the matters related to paperwork and communications and talking and thinking and writing and teaching are very much connected to your career and your status out in the world. So by changing and loosening that up a little bit, your thinking patterns, you can then free yourself up in terms of how you shine out in the world and what your career is, which will then allow you to have more space to make these changes in your home environment. What is supporting you strongly in this process of building your new home is your belief system, your spirituality, any forms of higher studies, travels. There's foreigners that are females that are friends in your life, or there could be people who are very creative and artistic, like designers, for instance, that could help you with your home. And they're very fair and pleasurable and will assist you to make the changes in your home. So let me go through to Pisces. For Pisces, these changes and these unexpected matters are related to your siblings, your neighborhood, your environment, your thinking, your communications. This is where the unexpected changes are happening. And they're coming from a place where you're stuck when related to matters related to foreign and overseas, belief systems, counselors, teachers, universities. For you to loosen up this grip on matters related to overseas and this emotional bond that the Scorpio wants for you in these areas, there is a need to relook at your finances and your self-esteem and your self-worth, to manage your finances in such a way that they are very ambitious and assertive in a way. So this could be relooking at your finances and reinvesting them possibly, so that you can get the matters related to overseas and foreign and whatever studies you want to do and belief systems sorted out. The matters related to your thinking process and the changes around your day-to-day routine and how you teach and write and think and the commute that you have in your day-to-day routine, there's a big need for an overhaul here. And there'll be a lot of support from females in terms of the finances that they invest with you, or as an emotional support to you. There's a great sense of fairness around support coming from other people that are mostly females or very beautiful, that will help you in this process. The old paradigm, the part of you that needs regenerating, is very much in an area about your hopes and dreams, and what's your ideal friend, and what is your ideal income that you want to have, and what is the ideal lifestyle that you want. That needs regenerating. The old paradigm is 3/4 set in. Time for regeneration with the Jupiter-Pluto conjunction on the 13th of November. This is your last chance to figure out how you can sort out your finances, your self-worth and self-esteem, so that you can flush out this old system that's not working, and make space for a new sense of receiving love from others, a new income that you might be earning, a new group of people and society and friends that you're going to be building up starting from December of this year, because you're still in the part of letting go of these old friendships and groups of people. So Aries, you're having the full moon occur in the area of life that has everything to do with your self-esteem, your value system, your sense of self-worth. It's about your finances. There's a shake-up in your finances. What can you do about your finances so that you can manage them better? Be open to new ideas and innovative new techniques of how to invest your money or manage your money. And it is your own persona that is very ambitious and assertive and powerful and dynamic that will help you make the changes in your work environment where there's outdated, oppressive ways of things happening. And there's a serious need for this regeneration. This is the third time this year Jupiter and Pluto conjunct in this area of your life, where it's time to let go of the old ways of doing things so that you can create the new ways of doing things. And you will get a lot of support from friends, females, artists, in a very fair way, in a loving, pleasurable, beautiful way, to help you along with the changes related to your own personal finances. And by being assertive and ambitious and powerful and dynamic in your own persona, this could be, literally wanting to do a lot of sports around your own physical health, but also in your persona, you can then be more direct about resources that you want to receive from other people. Don't be afraid to ask. Be assertive and say, hey, I need a bond, or hey, I would like you to be in my life. There's this idea that you can actually receive from others that which you want if you can be assertive about it and ask for it, and that will then allow the changes in your own personal financial part of your life. All right, everybody. Well, that was all the signs. Went about 5 minutes over the time. Thank you, everybody, for joining me today. I'm going to unmute you all. There we go. If you have any questions that you want to ask, please feel free to do so. All of you who have enjoyed and would like to join us again, here are the dates for the next event, which will be on the 29th of November. And we have another one also on the Sunday, the 13th of December. So please diarize that, or contact Yvette or myself directly if you have any questions. Have a beautiful Sunday to everybody. Take care. Lots of love. Bye, everyone.